There exists a custom Space Marine chapter created when the internet was young and unapologetically uncensored. A chapter that would become famous throughout all of the Warhammer 40K forums for its equally shameless fluff. And when I say shameless, I mean without a doubt, you can't say some of this fan lore on the internet anymore. This chapter captured the anger and frustration and vulgarity of a fan base that felt ignored by Games Workshop and made it take form in the Angry Marines. And that's what we're going to talk about today in another episode of 40 Facts about the 40K universe. If you're new to the channel, allow me to introduce myself. I am your host, Gersh1, your guide through the grimdark universe of Warhammer 40K 1000. Today we're going to be talking about the custom Space Marine chapter known as the Angry Marines. If you guys enjoy this type of content, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you guys want to hear more about the Angry Marines. And with that said, let's get into 40 Facts and lore on the Angry Marines. The Angry Marines are a fan-made Space Marine chapter that are in essence what would likely happen if a traditional wargamer could magically turn themselves into a Space Marine and express their opinion towards these certain aspects of the canon of 40k that they don't really like. By far, they are the most famous homebrew chapter to gain fame outside of the forums, more famous than the Pretty Marines and the Reasonable Marines. Two chapters that I'm more than likely going to talk about in next week's video, so subscribe to the channel for that. Now, the entire theme of these yellow-clad warriors is that they are angry for the Emperor and Skittles. Yes, Skittles. Is that a little bit sus? Of course it is, but it's 2022, so who gives a fuck? And as a way for the entire chapter to say no homo and overcompensate for their connection to that rainbow-colored candy, the Angry Marines' tactics focus on getting into melee as quickly as possible and proceeding to bust open several crates of fuck you in the various directions of the Imperium's enemies. Now, the Angry Marines were designed to have very low ballistic skills, meaning that they were terrible at shooting. They used to be as low as Orc Boys, but ever since the new Orc Codex came out, they might be worse than Greenskins. But what they lack for in shooting, they make up for in terrifyingly high weapon skills and strength, meaning anyone getting into close quarter combat with them would be utterly annihilated. Now, the Angry Marines employ a variety of weapons notably different from the standard Space Marine arsenal. These include the Power Heavy Bolter, the Dual Power Fist, Power Feet, Power Bat, Power Wrenches, and even the Predator Angrinator, a modified version of the Predator Whirlwind artillery tank that fires an actual Angry Marine directly into the enemy's ranks. And to further break the canon by ignoring the autonomy of the Titan Legions, the Angry Marines even possess their own Titan Legion, which of course is fully comprised of Angry Titans. Now, a funny quirk about the Angry Marines is that they also think that pistols are for fucking pansies who can't hit worth a damn. And so these Marines rarely go into battle with the traditional bolt pistol and chainsword, opting instead to engage opponents face to face, sometimes with only their fists. Now, to further illustrate their rage, even when not in combat, the Angry Marines are so goddamn angry that the simple words that they say out loud seem to be done as if with the caps lock key on. As such, they are sometimes despairingly referred to as the Tourette Marines. But those are the fucking retards that are unable to differentiate between seething anger and random cursing. Now, average Space Marines feel emotions with a strength that normal people just cannot comprehend. The Angry Marine feels rage to an extent that even leaves Battle Brothers entirely speechless. There really isn't any way to put it in any type of perspective. I know some of you think you've been angry, but the reality is that most rage you've ever felt is just a minor annoyance compared to what an Angry Marine feels like all the time. This seething anger leads many to compare the Angry Marine's rage with the emotions displayed by the Battle Brothers implanted with the Butcher's nails, which leads some to believe that the Angry Marines are actually loyalist world eaters, but this is merely one of many theories floating around. Another simple but popular theory is that they are the missing 2nd or 11th Legion, but it's not known what the Angry Marines think about these statements. In fact, whenever someone asks an Angry Marine about the chapter's founding, the one asking the question is always given a swift, forceful kick to the balls with a power foot. At present, the prevailing belief is that like the Pretty Marines and the Reasonable Marines, the Angry Marines are a first founding chapter that comes from the 11th Legion. However, due to Rowboat Girlyman's accidentally hitting the backspace key when he meant to copy and paste something while typing out the Codex Astartes, the 11th Legion was stricken from official records. Leave it to the fucking Smurf King to eradicate the chapter's history and replace it with his fake-ass lineage like he did with so many other chapters. The most astonishing thing about the Angry Marines is that they need no testosterone to be as foul of a mood as they are. Despite the fact that, like all other Space Marines, their ability to produce sex hormones is completely removed as part of their initiation, they are still very much able to act as if their blood was all replaced with pure testosterone. They still wake up with a raging hard-on. Now, there are a few things that the Angry Marines actually like. These are the Emperor, of course, also cats, and obviously Skittles. Angry Marines are also said to have a predilection for energy drinks and most anything resembling a club. They also surprisingly hate the Iron Hand slightly less due to their intense self-hatred and anger. Now, while the Angry Marines may hate pretty much everything else, there are those things that will cause any Angry Marine to fly into an unfathomable berserker rage in mere seconds. This includes the Eldar, the Dark Eldar, and anything related to those pointy-eared bastards. Angry Marines see the regular Space Elves as a bunch of pansies and the drug-addicted Space Elves as simply dickish pansies. Angry Marines also have always known that the Tau are just weeboo lame-tards, and a special hatred is reserved for the Ultramarines for being a bunch of pompous douchebags. As a matter of fact, Angry Marines hate the color blue entirely, which makes sense since blue is said to be a calming color. When it comes to Chaos Space Marines, the Angry Marines have mixed feelings of pure rage towards all of the traitors. They see the Emperor's Children as a chapter of triple scum for betraying the Imperium, but keeping the name of the Emperor. They hate the World Eaters, seeing through the facade of anger, which really to them is just male insecurity to the extreme. In their eyes, the Thousand Sons are chaos-worshipping pansies that use warp powers because they're too scared to get up close and personal with real warriors. That makes them triple pansies too. They also view the Demon Primarchs as a bunch of pansies who hide in the warp too scared to even show up because they know that their testicles would get kicked up between their ears, if they even have testicles. As a whole, chaos is fake and gay in the eyes of any Angry Marine. Now, there are some things that the Angry Marines hope will happen, and if it did, it would make them slightly less angry, but nowhere near enough to make them less destructive. This includes the progression of the lore of Warhammer 40K, like actual progress, not just the shit little stories that the Psychic Awakening came out with. They also wish that they could be canon. They wish for a Warhammer 40K space shooter flight sim, and wish to beat the shit out of all squat and non-squat players. Yes, Leagues of Vultan. Now that's just a brief introduction into the Angry Marines. The Angry Marines actually have a ton of other stories that I need to filter through because I don't know if they're going to be appropriate for YouTube. They were in the past, but now I'm testing the waters to see, number one, what YouTube is going to do and also what you guys want. If you guys enjoy this type of content, smash the like button, comment in the comment section below. It doesn't matter what you want or whatever you comment. Just make sure to put it in all cap locks because that's the true Angry Marine way. And also, if you guys want to get more lore on the Pretty Marines or the Reasonable Marines, subscribe to the channel. Also, we have Super Thanks. If you want to support, send us over a Super Thanks so that we can create more Angry Marine content and just more lore content in general. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.